Right, so this is the first in a short series of videos about graphs, building up to tangents of a circle. So to get there, we need to first think about straight line graphs, in particular perpendicular straight line graphs. And we'll also need to look at equations of a circle as well. So if you look at this, you'll notice that all the identically coloured lines are perpendicular, and we've got equations down here that match up with those lines. Now, a gradient that goes from, or a line that goes from bottom left to top right has always got a positive gradient. A line that goes from top left to bottom right has got a negative gradient. We often say this one goes up and this one goes down. It's not a very good way to say it because they both lines, all lines go up and down, don't they? Unless it's horizontal, of course. So better to say it goes from bottom left to top right, and then have a positive gradient. You'll also see that if it's a steeper line, like this black line here, if I turn off the one to negative gradients for the moment, you see the steeper line, the black line, has a larger gradient. So the steeper the gradient, the largely for m value in y equals mx plus c, the higher the m value, the higher the gradient, the steeper the line. The lower the gradient, the less steep the line is. Okay, right. So how do we identify what a perpendicular line would be? So we'll just focus on the two red lines. Of course, the perpendicular line is going to have a negative gradient to be able to do that, because one's going from bottom left to top right, one's going from top left to bottom right. In order to do that, it has to have a negative gradient. Let's look at it a little bit more carefully, and what you might notice is that this is 2 and this is a half, or actually it's minus a half. If we look at the next pair, this is 4, this is minus a quarter, and this is 5, and this is minus a fifth, and this is 3, and this is minus a third. So the rule is essentially what we say is a negative reciprocal. Okay, so I'll make some notes on the whiteboard now. We'll get I'm going to get a screenshot of this, put it on the whiteboard, and then I'll make some notes on that. Okay, so because my screen recording software is only going to record this actual tab at the moment, I'll have to put that bit in the next video. So I'll briefly explain it verbally on this video. So let's look at we'll just look at the equations on the left in every case. So we've got 2, then negative 1 over 2, 4, negative 1 over 4, 5, negative 1 over 5, 3, negative 1 over 3. So a reciprocal is 1 over, so the reciprocal of 2 is 1 over 2, reciprocal of 4 is 1 over 4. The negative reciprocal would be negative 1 over 2 or negative 1 over 4. So that's what I mean by negative reciprocal. But it also works the other way around. So 1 over a half is 2, 1 over a quarter is 4, or 1 over negative a quarter would be positive 4, 1 over negative a half would be positive 2. So they're negative reciprocals of each other. Okay, so I'll just chop the video up. I'll make that video a separate video now, and then I'll make a second video where we'll make some notes on the actual whiteboard.